I need to inform Frank of the broken stuff.
Okay. Hey everyone.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Happy Friday to you, Specs.
Hello.
It's Friday.
It is. I'm posting on not Twitch, Twitter.
Nice. Oh, and somebody's already firing off some guns. Also, Rusio, thank you for that follow before the stream. Much appreciated.
You love me. You really love me.
I fixed it now. It says BEPUv2.
Yep. Right now, you guys, we are on the BEPUv2 testing for the Danger Nightly, so we're actually on the more up-to-date build.
Might crash.
Also, Maddie, try to chill out with the machine gun shooting.
Hello.
Is it that loud?
Yes.
Yes.
It is that loud.
It is
Because it's on
enthusiastic.
broadcast.
You really love me.
Nice. Also, Max Deadbear, thank you for the follow as well. This is going to be a really awesome stream again today, you guys, because we are going to be talking and answering all questions about BEPUv2 and why it's so impactful here for Neos and why this is going to be such a massive update. And now, just today, we made it so that anyone can test out this build. You can have a special code and actually get into the Danger Nightly build, and you can test out BEPUv2 for yourself. But for right now, we're on the BEPUv2 build here live. Also, Rusanok, thank you for the follow, and Hyrant. Sorry for mispronouncing it, but thank you for the follows, you guys.
Alright.
Ryanard.
That link does work. Good.
Also, is that a video that you want to maybe link over there?
Oh
Is
no,
it
that's
YouTube?
the one that I posted on my. No, it's not YouTube. That's just that clip that I
that's the Twitter
captured.
one? Okay.
Yes.
The funny
one.
one.
Hello.
Bah.
Thank you, Snooper, for the 50 bits.
Hello.
hello.
This is my new home. I live here now.
Yeah, Riley, let me show that to
Hello.
video real quick.
Me. You
This is-
really love me.
For some of that.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. This is my new home. I live here now.
This is how BEPUv2 is tested internally. This is fairly typical of the of Neos's development process.
Rigorous scientific
example of how
testing involving
development works.
staircases.
Yes.
Well, we're
This is
testing like what we need to do is take the system and put it to the extreme.
You love me.
And that's how we find all the bugs.
Yep, and you also turn into a head
Yeah.
crab.
Yes.
So Seeker is asking, does it seem better performance so far with the test? Absolutely. I think that the
Yeah.
performance has for sure increased.
Oh yeah.
Especially
It's
in worlds
kinda-
where I would normally get half frame rate. I was getting a world that normally would get like 45 frames. I was actually peaking to 72 to 80 in that world.
There's like some like really collider heavy worlds like which see like pretty big like performance improvement like
Yeah.
especially like if you've seen like kind of Erix's worlds like Dark City 2 for example. Like on my like machine in the desktop I get like in one section I get like 70 FPS. On this version I get like 120. Other worlds you won't see as much difference, so it kind of like depends on whatever the bottleneck is, but it is like one of the like many important components of Neos, so like upgrading it to a high performance one definitely helps like gain some like improvements. It'll depend like kind of like situation, so like you'll see, and there's like a lot more optimizations that will come as well, but so far like it seems pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a little bit later on to the stream, you guys, once we get more people here joining us, we are going to be answering any and all questions about BEPUv2, as well as probably even some right now currently.
We
Yes.
interrupt this program to bring you gizmos everywhere.
Gizmos
Yeah, so
everywhere.
what are you guys editing right
This-
now? Why? Just
It's just
why?
Neos.
Why?
It's just everyday Neos.
Yeah, they're opening up their avatar roots or something, I don't know.
We're gonna go on
As you
Neos to
can.
chill, right?
Yeah, no,
yeah,
don't
I
create
can
that
get
meme. Oh,
Well,
God.
no, it's perfect meme. I like this meme.
Yeah, that's
It's my
how I
favorite.
feel right now, right? Like, we start up the stream
Yes.
and like, nope, we're just gonna be testing and editing stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's my favorite meme.
Actually, yeah, it's one of my favorites. So
Simulate rotation.
Yeah, we're going.
Okay.
We've come on Neos to stream, right? Yeah,
We
we've
do
come
need
on
to
to
select this
stream.
face.
Yeah,
Just select the face first.
there.
Wait, is this,
There.
am I
We've come on to
selected?
stream.
Am I
Yeah.
selected?
Yes.
yeah.
You are.
There we go.
There. There you go. We've
Oh.
come on to stream.
Oh,
Right. Oh no, I'll have to deal with that now. We need to fix your head.
My hand.
Once
so
it still has
Kyubi is
one at the
asking
end.
here inside chat. Guess the CPU load is lower with BEPUv2. Yes.
Yes.
it is.
So there's like two main things. Like it does help like decrease the CPU load. So like we get the pretty much get like the better performance. It also has like its own like memory management system, so that actually helps a fair bit as well, because the garbage collector, it doesn't have to like run as often, and it's kind of like optimized like in that regard as well.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's not working.
there's really like over like kind of like improvements like across the board. There's also a big part is that like it's not like the Beppu itself, because like the BEPUv2, it's pretty much like a complete rewrite. Like the author, like he pretty much like designed it from scratch. The only thing that has the same is the name, and the second one is designed like to be much more performance oriented. But the upgrade, it was also an excuse to sort of like re-engineer how Neos actually integrates with the physics engine, and that's where like some of the performance like improvements come from as well, where also like improvements to like behaviors, some like of the bugs are fixed, because like it was like a big chunk of work, like pretty much like ripping out the system and like completely redesigning how it like integrates with Neos. We could kind of like rethink how it's actually done to get like more improvements overall.
Yeah. Before we answer any more questions, I'd also like to bring up the clarification of the difference between BEPUv2 and rigid body physics. Do you want to like go into a little bit more depth as to what is so different about these and what the physics are like here for right now for BEPUv2?
Yes. So pretty much like the BEPUv2, it's like a physics engine. It has like rigid body physics, it has all the fancy stuff and so on. But for it to work with Neos, it has to be integrated. Like that means we actually have to like interface with the functionality of the library and kind of like expose it in Neos like in some way. And right now the upgrade, it's pretty much the main focus is on making sure that we sort of like re-implement all the functionality that we had previously. That's for all the interactions, like whenever like grabbing stuff, whenever like using your laser, whenever like running raycasts, all the like common interactions. It's like the character controller, like when you're like moving around and jumping. That's the main focus. And rigid body physics, that's like a separate body of work that will come afterwards. Now there's one thing that makes this a little bit confusing, is that you can actually get sort of rigid body like behavior with the character controller. Because in the physics engine, the character controller, it's sort of like, it's like a rigid body plus some extra stuff on it. Like there's like stuff that kind of like glues it to the floor to make it like easy to move around and sort of like freezes its rotation. And one of the things you can do is sort of unlock the rotation, so it sort of starts like tumbling around and so on. This is like, it's very like fun to play with, but it is not what actual rigid body support will be. That's like a much bigger thing that will come afterwards. If you do play with them, like, and kind of like want people like to play with, because Neos is all about like tinkering and like doing silly stuff and so on, we just wanted to understand sort of like the limitations of it, and that's that they're not optimized for its purpose. The character controllers specifically, they're designed to like control you as a character. So like if you use them for something they're not meant for, like it will hurt the performance, it will hurt like the network bandwidth, it will be glitchy like in some cases, like it won't do like what you expect it to, like it'll be hard to kind of control. So just keep those things in mind, and it's pretty much like the thing, those things like will be solved by the actual like rigid body support. We do have a GitHub issue for it, that's a separate one. It has a little bit more like details on like what's gonna come as part of the rigid body support, but it's pretty much the goal of that is gonna be so you can have it much more optimized, so you can actually have like lots of like rigid bodies, have it run better, have it perform better over network, and it's like instead of like killing everybody's connection. It also gives you more flexibility, so you can actually kind of control like things like friction, you can control like apply different forces, rotational forces and so on, and also very important, create constraints. So the full rigid body support will like allow you to make like things like hinges, for example, to control like connect to rigid bodies, or springs, or like motors, like which like apply like a rotational force to them. So
I
there's
can't give you
a whole bunch of
builder, but,
stuff like coming.
I can't give anyone permissions at the moment. Everybody's set to spectator.
There's a whole bunch of like stuff that's kind of like coming in with that. So yep, this is pretty much like sums it up, I think.
Yeah, and the reason why we're clarifying this is because when people are starting to test this, realize that the BEPUv2 isn't about specifically physics, it's more about a optimization improvement through the physics engine and how it can run and function. So if you're going to test with stuff that involves physics, just realize what Frock said, is that it's going to be a little bit not performant, and but it is fun to tinker with and mess around with if you are going to be hopping in on this build. So give us more feedback on whether or not if items are working or things are functioning the way that they should be. That's really what we want from this testing build, and why we're opening it up to the community to be able to test it now and then come inside of here and really give us some good feedback as to what's functioning well and what's not so functioning so well.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So there's like a whole bunch of like things that are sort of like sort of kind of broken, like that we're like getting a report. So like making sure like we get as many of them as possible, and we clear up like whatever like we can before like it goes public. Because like with Neos we do care about like content compatibility, and Neos is kind of designed so like we preserve as much content as we can, and there may be like some subtle differences, and just like we can be like okay like keeping as long as they don't actually break the content. But if there's something that just it doesn't work or it like makes it unusable, like we want to like know about it. And even like during the QC process, like with Shifty and like the QC team, we found lots of like problems, like crashes. We found like things like tools, gadgets. Lots of things like Shift is here actually that they were just like completely like broken, and we kind of cleaned it up, and now we're getting a little bit more like from the community as well. So before it goes to public, we're gonna be like working on cleaning those up.
Nice. And I was thinking, before we start going on to answer more questions here from the community, would it be okay if we actually showed off some of the cool tinkering type physics and things that you actually are able to do currently in this version of BEPUv2? Would it be okay if you actually linked up a video and then we could like send it off over there?
Well, can I actually show some of the stuff, because there is
Sure.
like besides like the sort of a hacky pro rigid bodies that you can do, there are actually some legitimate additions. They're like relatively minor, but they should be like they should kind of like improve like the quality of life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
so,
let's go. Should we go
That's
outside
the
then
whole-
to do that?
Yeah, we can go outside. The
Okay,
whole
let's go outside.
the whole
No.
premise of this stream is to show off as much as we can. That's where we're on BEPUv2's
Yes.
build right now. So we'll go outside, you guys. I'll I won't just clip to the wall. I'll take the
Bah.
the fall.
Allah.
As long as I can have the swirly.
Next did the other direction.
Can I have the
Hello?
swirly?
Okay, so what I'm gonna like showcase is like there's one of the changes, like sort of like additions, is that the character controller, is like the thing that's like used, is more generalized. On the previous build, like with BEPUv1, it was implicitly a capsule like shape, but with this one you can actually you can change whatever shape you want. Like it has to be like a primitive shape or a convex hull. But you can also like kind of change its shape, and there's actually a behavior where like it changes based on your height. So like if I make something like this, I make like let's say I make a cube, and I'll make it physical. So now that it's like physical, you can see like if I walk to it, I cannot walk through it. And on the previous build, like if you crouched, like you still wouldn't be like able to walk through it, because like the capsule collider was like still your full height, but with this I can actually like walk under it. And if I stand
nice.
up, like I'm gonna collide again.
Now try
If I, like,
try
do
standing.
this-
Yeah, try standing up while.
Oh, this
Oh,
makes
wow.
it more difficult.
Yeah, try after his head is unshroken. Yeah, there you go. And then now try stand up. Yep. So what you can see right there, you guys, when he tried standing up, it actually pushed the collider, pushed him out.
Make it lower.
Normally, your character would just go through the box, but now the BEPUv2 is so much better that it's
Go lower.
Like,
Hey, this is gonna be proper limbo.
How much lower can I go?
I don't think that's working.
I think there's actually like a limit.
Now this is actually head grabbing.
Hey guys, don't mind me, just under the couch.
Turkey crabbing.
It's like the cat under the couch.
I can get there as well.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
It's warm under here, isn't there? Wait, nobody
Yes.
left $20. Fuck yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is a breeze.
Oh no. no clip doesn't count.
But yeah, that's really impressive just for the physics integration. And this also will make it so that you can't pull yourself through objects anymore, right? Or like,
No.
yeah. So let me try to test it. Right.
No. That's you can still pull yourself through.
Oh, I can still put myself through for right here.
Yes. Yeah, that hasn't been changed.
Okay.
It's one of the things like we're probably gonna deal with like once you actually have like work on the rigid body physics, because the way we're gonna approach that one is like to use the constraints.
Right.
Oh yes, there is another change, is that the mesh colliders, like before, like they were always dual-sided, which means like there's not like a paper thin shell, but they would like sort of like push you like on both sides. But with this change, like you can actually make them single-sided, and by default we make them like front-sided, which means like if you sort of push yourself in, it's gonna sort of like push you out. With the previous build, like if you do this, you get stuck inside, because like the other side of this is sort of like pushing you like back in, but like with this I can actually like very easily get out. So that both like improves performance, because like it doesn't have to like do like the single both sides, and it should like help improve the user experience a bit.
Yeah, and it feels much better if you like, let's say, got stuck in between two colliders. Now that's not going to happen anymore. Now it's going to like push you through and push you out.
Yeah.
But you can still pull yourself through walls and whatnot right now. But yeah,
Yes.
I would also have times where they would be like getting stuck inside the floor. Like, let me show an example of that. So right now here I'm in the floor a little bit. If I like let go, it's automatically going to pop me up. So instead of me like following all the way down and going to my death per se, it's now going to stop me right there, which is so much better.
Hi.
Thank you for the follow, Jason.
Here's what the addition looks like in the component. It's pretty much a sideness addition to a collider. Right
Yep,
here.
and sideness is front.
I just
Dual-sided
dual-sided.
up front.
Yeah. Switch it to dual-sided on this one. We can actually kind of showcase the way to behave. So like, it was like, oh, I have coffee. Thank you. I'm gonna leave it. Oh, get rid of it. So if I do this, now it's actually like, I cannot get out. Like,
Yep, because that's for
actually might be
dual-sided.
easier like if you show it. And I'll switch it back to front-sided.
Yep, and
There
it
we
pops
go,
them
and
out.
just walk
So
out.
yeah, having it set to front for walls that you don't want people to get stuck in for the collision, that's going to be a very important thing for BEPUv2, and a nice update that's gone through, because there'd be many times where users would get stuck into some corner or some place, and now it's going to, give them a little bit of push.
Yes.
I
Cool.
see
So
someone
is there
spawned something
more
that I'm
things
gonna
more
play
things that you'd
around
like
with.
to show that we have for BEPUv2?
Yes.
Excuse me.
Alpha think. Oh, there's actually another cool thing. Is like we made sure that like during testing, like all of the old stuff, it just keeps like working. So like even like the vehicle systems, which are sort of like hacky and sort of hijacking the character controller, they actually work on this build as well. But it just is sort of like flown away.
Hey, when you can go fly away on a motorcycle, I mean, why not, right?
Yes.
No, coffee.
I also constantly feel my controller going off for.
No, I don't think I'm going in the right
There might be
direction.
a bug. There's actually a bug like the map takes like don't stop.
Oh,
It's one of
okay.
the reasons for the engine idling.
Understandable. Yeah, this one I can constantly feel is doing a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Now it's going down. Now it's fine.
There we go.
Yeah.
So the other thing that it can do, and this was kind of like it's more like meant like if you want to do some like zero G kind of like locomotion things and so on, but it can actually like take, let's say, like a basic shape. And if I turn this into a character controller, you can actually unlock the rotation on it, and like it's fun like to play with.
Yeah, let's see that.
So if I open this up, Actually, there's before we get to that, like there's a few more things as well, and we're probably gonna hop like into another map. But like there's like one I'd really like to show. But there's new types of colliders as well. So the type we have the static, but you have the trigger, but there's also something called static trigger, and it's like sort of like more optimized version of trigger. If you know that like you have like triggers in your environment, like for example for opening doors or cooling and things like that, and you know they're not gonna be moving, you can switch them to static triggers, and it kind of like optimizes them a little bit more. News actually does even like a clever thing for like existing content where every old like trigger gets converted to static trigger auto. What this does, it behaves as a static trigger, it has like the extra optimizations, but it sort of like tracks. Like if I actually start moving this, you see it switches back to trigger, because it figures like this one is moving, it should be just a regular trigger.
Well, that's smart.
There were like all the like existing content like we have, like it sort of gets the optimizations, but also like it's sort of like clever and like sees like this one is like moving a lot, so like it shouldn't actually be like the static one. I'm just gonna switch it to the regular one. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna switch this to character controller. I'm gonna also enable character collider, and I'm gonna attach character controller, and I'm gonna check simulate rotation. So this is like a difference. Before, like this alone, this was actually its own shape, but what it does now, it utilizes whatever shape is like on the same slot. And then I just assign myself as the user. Actually, maybe assign you.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be Witterland.
Well, Earthmark, thank you so much for all those gifted subs.
Earthmark. I'm gonna drop you in. Drop.
Oh.
There we go. And now, like, try duplicating it.
Try duplicating? Okay. Oh, nice.
Duplicate more. More.
I'll do a couple. I don't want to go too much, but see how they're duplicating out.
Oh, hey.
Oh, you can also enable collisions with like other players. So if I go to Open Inspector,
oh, that's a lot of fun.
Let me switch to.
You can like bang them against each other. Bang,
yes.
Bang.
So if I go here, wait, where is it?
We're getting flooded by the subs.
No. There we go. So I'm gonna enable like collisions for all players with
Snooper,
character
thank
controls.
you so much for all those extra
gifted,
another 10 gifted subs. Thank you. Thank you for that. Look, this is how you know that we love our gifted sub, when it's just like it floods my face.
Okay, now.
This is what I'm seeing right now. This is my life.
Okay, now try walking into them.
Okay, I will. Right when the gifted subs are spread their way. Oh, they went to Turk. Good. Or Canadian.
Oh, good lord.
Okay, so I'll collide with this one. Oh, look at that! I can kick it around. It slides around like it's on ice. It's like an ice cube.
Yes.
You should hit it with an ice cube material.
No friction.
Play some soccer next.
Do you have an ice material that you could shoot it with? That would be cool.
Yes.
Then it's like we're sliding around
Actually,
ice.
I'm gonna shoot the ground to be ice.
Yeah. Whoa.
The subs be attack. There we go.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, now that makes sense.
I just got it a little bit.
Subs have come for me.
We could do. Oh, you know what I really want now? I want there to be a hockey map, and you just like have hockey, and then you're hitting the hockey puck with a stick. Oh, that'd be so much fun. Oh my god, why doesn't... I'm deleting chat, I'm sorry. I love the gifted subs, but...
Oh, no, they're going away.
Oh, they're going away now?
Wait, no. Actually,
no,
never
yeah,
mind.
they're not.
It's just there.
I think this is still the old chat where the subs last for like 5 minutes, which is just... Oh, thanks chat. Yeah, thank you for exploding.
This chat doesn't...
Yeah, that works.
They don't want to delete it.
Thank you.
You love me. You really love me.
Okay, let's hit these things. Oh, I think that one's not the flightable one.
There's also another change. I'm gonna show this one as a video. Like we could like
wait. What?
We could like jump to the wall, but
oh, and there you got even more.
easier.
Thank you, Snooper. Thank you.
they like it.
They're like,
Really? Oh, and now they're attacking Aegis. Perfect. Just keep them distracted. Keep all those new gifted subs distracted there, Aegis.
Yes.
Okay, so
So this is like another like change. It's like they like the upgrade. Oh no.
We're gonna exist.
huh.
Oh, no.
I think just so you know, Frox, I think on this build there might actually be a bug. If I switch to the manual camera, it doesn't set it to manual. It set it to some I think a 0.0. Oh, thank you, Snooper, for the 1,000 bits.
Thank you for reporting that in the public testing channel.
Okay,
Yes.
so manual camera isn't working, so I'll just
Yeah.
kind of keep my view on it after. Can somebody explode me?
Yes. Oh no.
Chad?
Yeah,
Would you like to do
Chad.
the honors?
Or Zeus, either or works. Also virtual, thanks. Oh, thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, okay. Thank you, chat.
Now they're just stuck.
Oh, we're just stuck now.
Yeah, they will be.
At least they're not moving. Oh.
Okay, so let's. This video is still checkerboard though for me.
Oh, is it? Hold on, let me look at it. So like another thing is like with like the upgrade, we're sort of like cleaning up a lot of like the old like long-standing like bugs, and like for example like
Thank you for the raid.
The shapes are like respecting your height. There's been a thing that's been like requested for a while, but like we've kind of like been waiting for this upgrade to sort of tackle it. Another one, and this is sort of like a test world. I'm gonna actually quit it because it's a little bit. So there's like a
it's
thing if
doing
you're using
the bit rates type stuff. Is there a way to adjust that through the inspector?
No.
Yeah, it's kind of going.
Probably. How's it going?
Yeah, it now seems like it's just kind of freezing.
They could like showcase this live.
Okay, yeah, let's. I feel like that might be better. Is it
Yeah,
instead of
let's
is
show
it in another world?
Yes, it's another world. We have to jump there. Hold on, let me grab the
Okay,
URL.
so we'll go to
by the
we'll go to the other world, you guys, and then right when we come back, we'll start answering like Q&As inside the chat.
One more thing as well, by the way. I don't know if you saw, but we got raided by Lemon.
Yep, we got 68 new viewers.
Yes.
We got lots of people
Thanks
here.
for the raid.
Welcome, everyone.
Lemon, thank you.
I think we now have quite a lot.
Ooh.
Yeah, Doggy says, hi Neo, super hyped about the physics. Yeah, this is actually BEPUv2 that we're showcasing here right now. It isn't exactly rigid body physics, but this is BEPUv2, which is the physics engine that allows for a lot. Oh, so thank you again for, I think that's 20 gifted subs from Snooper. Thank you so much.
God. Subplay.
If you're interested in helping out, you can head over
So much money.
to the main Discord and look inside the testing channel, and you'll find instructions to test out the Beppu stuff yourself.
This world has just completely changed now. Usually happens in EOS. Yeah, anyone who got a gifted sub from Snooper, give them a thanks. And Frox is probably going to send me an invite. Oh, we got the session over here.
Off we go.
So we'll join inside here.
You guys come?
And Frox is going to live demonstrate this.
Yes.
Oh, it feels so smooth inside of here. Oh. Okay.
Hello.
Hello. It's running at maximum
So it's
frame
like
rate.
a simple like test world. Like if you've ever like used a component called like character parenter, it's like something that sort of like parents into the hierarchy. So like when I like walk onto this, I'm now like sort of like parented under this. There's like a problem with the existing build, like with the old one, is when this moves quickly, like it sometimes like drops you out. And there's like a problem like if you're using this for something like a spaceship. So it can be like in a spaceship, like the spaceship can be like flying around really quickly, and because it's flying like really fast, like you end up like being like dropped out of a spaceship. With this, I'm gonna press this. This is just gonna like zoom me like really fast. Actually, you're with me.
Oh yeah,
so you see like
yeah, wait, yeah, do it again. Oh yeah, I see. Zoom. Oh, that's
so
cool.
like we're zooming like back and forth, and like it doesn't drop us. So like that's one of the things like there's actually like
oh, so the
character fixed up.
So character collision or character parenters are more accurate, and they're not going to be. Oh wow, yeah, that's really impressive.
Yep. they should like kind of keep you like in. So
this will be great for roller coasters. If you want to get like
Oh, yeah.
parented to like a
Or
roller coaster.
spaceships.
Yeah, or spaceships that are going at hyper speeds. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, I'm bringing out. Oh, I can't spawn in here. Okay.
Renari's just thinking about elevators. Yeah, this will be great for elevators too.
Very nice.
You won't be like clipping or falling through elevators when you're trying to go up. Oh, that's so nice. Please clip that, chat.
It works.
Just that part. Just
I think I spent like 2 hours on this, or I don't even know how long.
yeah, this is really impressive because there's so many different
spectators.
things already made out inside Neos that could benefit from this right now.
Oh yeah.
I'm a
It's first, like,
spectator.
It's also kind of like how we do like development. Is like sometimes like it's like a whole bunch of like bugs and problems with like a system. Let's say like there's like a whole bunch of like problems with the physics, and this has been like one of them, and it's been like bugging people for like a really long time now. Sometimes we kind of like say like we're actually not gonna work on it for like a while because we are planning to do this big chunk of work, and in this case, the next freeze.
Yeah, I am frozen.
Oh no.
Oh no.
It might be my screen is black, or I don't know if I'm gonna come back because I can hear you guys perfectly.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh
Also,
no.
guys, thank you for the cheer with 100 bits.
We
So
call it the
do you want me
danger
to?
nightly for a reason?
Yeah, do you want me
Yes.
to? Do you want me to restart? Because it might be just stuck. Am I like?
I'm not
completely-
sure.
I will warn everyone in that other world very quickly then.
Okay.
Yeah, let them know
Do you want to
that.
give it a bit?
Yeah, I'll give it like about.
Can I
30 more
finish my
seconds.
explanation like
Yeah,
this?
yeah, you can. It's, I mean,
Oh.
the camera's on you.
Wait, can I camera still
It's
see me?
frozen, I believe.
Oh, I'm frozen. I'll
you're
deliver this message to you through telepathy. So pretty much like what I'm saying is like the way like we develop is like we sometimes know we're gonna be doing this big chunk of work, like in this case like bringing the physics engine, which takes a lot of effort, and it's kind of like where we sort of like bring in all of the like small issues that we like collected over time, because like it's kind of we're sort of like opening up all these systems, reworking everything, and it's much like easier sort of like to handle it like as a like big like chunk of work that way. So a lot of the small things that have been like problem for a while have been kind of like fixed up and improved.
Yeah, everything has been flexible in the development where it's come through like that. So, and it's great that we are continuing that sort of outlook that really makes it better for the community and for the builders as a whole. Okay, so I'm gonna restart because I don't want to have this. I mean, you look wonderful, Frox, but I, don't want to be a still image
No,
the whole time. Give me a sec.
I'm just a thing.
Yeah,
Chill out,
it'll
still.
take me probably less than 30 seconds to do so.
Brooks,
Okay.
can we
We'll
boost
be
the
back
user
in a
limit
second,
up in here
folks.
so everyone can jump in?
Yes, I think so.
I'll actually hit the BRB real quick. I got the set. Good thing that we got these overlays now. Make perfect use of them. Hopefully you guys have been liking this whole BEPUv2 stuff as well. It's really fun to be able to showcase this stuff. And again, if you want, inside the Discord, there is a link for the code to be able to check out this build for yourself using Danger Nightly for Neos. Okay, and we are back inside of here. There you go, chat. Yep, that seems like a lot of fun there, Angel. Okay, and I think this is open for anybody to rejoin back inside of here for the people that we did have in here. And or when we get Frox and the rest back inside of here, then we will be going again. Yep, it is. Okay, so we're going to take this time now to answer any and all questions about the BEPUv2.
I've got another thing.
You got another thing that you want to show?
Yes.
Yeah, what would that be?
Probably this one is like I cannot really show it too well, but one cool like thing is like when you're like loading into the worlds, like before, when you have like mesh colliders, with the normal build, like Neos always like calculates them on the fly. Like pretty much like it like when you're like loading, like it eats all of like your CPU and it's a lot of like your memory because it has to compute like these like acceleration structures to kind of like speed up like the like collider like testing with the mesh. With this build, like we've actually leveraged the asset variant system, and with us it pretty much like for any like static meshes, it actually computes it on the clouds and it caches it. So like when you load, it actually just loads it. So it does all those like expensive computations. It does the same for convex house as well. It does the like complex like computations on the cloud. It does them like once.
So
in some
does that
cases,
mean
it
when
does
you're
them like
loading?
locally.
So does that mean when you're loading into a world, there will be less chance of you falling through it when you're loading into it, or?
No. Well, maybe, but like it doesn't affect it directly. What it does though, like it makes the loading smoother because like it doesn't eat, especially like if you have like weaker machine, because it doesn't need to like eat all of your CPU to like compute all of these. It's just like loading them from like already pre-computed data. So it is like another kind of like background like benefit of like the upgrade system.
Nice. It would be hard for us to be able to show that though, right?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like you can like show too much. All I have is like, actually I don't know where I saved it. I think it's like in one of the chats.
Sure.
I had like a picture of like the asset variant system just like going like brrr, like just processing everything. Oh, there we go, found it. This is sort of indirect. It's also like another reason like we're doing sort of like the like semi-public and now like the public testing is like so it kind of sees a lot of the data. So like this is pretty much like the system right now because people are going into worlds and spawning things and testing everything out. Like the machine is just keeps going, computing everything. And before like this had to be everyone's computer. Now it's just like a computer in the cloud and it does it once and then it's stored. It's sufficient.
Nice.
It's really nice to see how it loads in too, because you see all the when you're testing some of the bigger maps with a lot of colliders, you see like a lot of black and gray, and it's just like a nice scene.
Oh yeah.
It's a little matrix where you see like everything kind of just like building up.
Yes. Sure, like a little bit like smoother and like nicer, like with less like stuttering.
We get the invite peeps that want to rejoin side here. Okay, so do you feel like we're comfortable to answer questions for people?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I also got some more things I'd like to show as well.
We will show. Yeah, we will show those things because we still have like another hour and 30 minutes left for the stream. So we will have a lot more time to show you guys the cool things that Frox is going to be showing to us. But we'll answer some questions for you guys since you guys have been patiently waiting to get. So bring your questions if you do want a question for us to be seen here in chat. Make sure that you put a question mark at the end of it, and then we can see all of that. So we got Snooper for our first question.
I think the first one was answered by Prime.
Prime already answered. Oh, cool. So Prime already answered that one. So we got our first question by Kyubi Yoru, who says, "What is planned after BEPUv2 integration is done? Rigid body physics or something else?" Good question.
We're pretty much gonna decide like once we're done with the integration. Right now it's like still like the focus is like on the BEPU integration and sort of like getting it finished. So there's like several like possibilities that like we could do there. One thing you can actually do as part of the community is like vote like on the GitHub issues, vote on the Patreon, and like when we're kind of deciding what to do next, like we'll be like looking at that and take it like into consideration. So
yep,
we'll see.
Thank you for that question, Kayubi. Rusio says, does BEPUv2 improve performance with avatars and IK? So does it influence IK or avatars at all?
No, like it's well, it's a little bit hard because like all the systems sort of like interact. So like there's actually been like some changes that kind of do indirectly optimize some things. Like the IK itself like is unaffected. There's like some like optimizations that like sort of underlying data model that will help a lot there. What it does help it is like when you have your avatar, it actually has a bunch of like colliders, and those colliders are sort of like constantly like being moved around, and we've kind of like made it like a fair bit like more efficient. So like it actually doesn't have to like do a lot of like redundant work when they're like moving around, because one of the problems with the previous build is like the colliders, they will like generate like events and would like try to like wake stuff up and so on. Now it actually is like explicitly handled, so like we filter like what each collider does. So there's some improvement there, but like it's not directly to the IK. It should help some with avatars, like, but like we need to do a little bit more like testing to figure out how much of an impact there is and do some more like fine tuning.
A lot of users have been very fond of using dynamic bones. How will this affect that?
Right now it doesn't, but like one of the big things and one of the reasons like we're upgrading to BEPU is because we actually want to leverage some of its like algorithms.
It was actually hard
to kind of
hear.
optimize other parts of Neos.
Can you repeat your question?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of users have made use of dynamic bones, and I wanted folks to clarify how this interacts with the dynamic bone system.
Yes, like the dynamic bones, they're pretty much like their own like systems, like they're sort of like simplified like physical simulations. So like right now it doesn't affect them in any way, but one of the things that is like on the roadmap, and you can check this like if you go to GitHub, there's like physics roadmap, is actually like use some of the algorithms from BEPU to do a few things. One of the major ones is sort of like efficiently querying which users will be colliding with which dynamic bones, because right now that's done kind of inefficiently, and as more users join into world, that becomes like one of the things that becomes like a pretty big performance strain. The way BEPU was designed, especially the second one, is like we can actually utilize a lot of its internal structures to build like optimizations for other parts that like don't even have anything to do with physics, and it's one of the things we want to do with the dynamic bones. The other thing I might do is end up like it has like algorithms for like collision testing of basic shapes. I might like to end up like using that to add like more shapes to the dynamic bones as well, but we'll see on that one.
Very good.
So this is like more come like after the basic integration is done.
Nice, good question there, Canadian. So we got another question here from Max Studbear. Does BEPUv2 improve world load performance?
Yes.
Yep. We were just talking about that, or actually Frox was just talking about how it's gonna load out the collisions quicker and more efficiently.
Some good maps if you want to try this for yourself are like Dark City, some of the more intensive Minecraft maps. There's definitely a couple out there.
I think the biggest difference you said you're always going to see is in worlds that made heavy use of colliders. If your world was previously just a single black or block in the middle of a void, probably not much change, but the more complexity added on there, the bigger the difference.
Yeah, I'll put it this way, there was one world that I really enjoyed going to that normally if I was alone inside of it would give me like 45 frames, now it gives me up to 72 to 80, and it was going vice versa when I'm alone in the world, so that alone is pretty significant.
I think on desktop, you said for Dark City, when you were checking it out, you went from like 80 to like your monitor refresh rate.
In some parts, yeah. Some like especially collider heavy maps, like they had like a pretty big performance boost, like where like the performance like in some cases were like almost double, but it is very situation specific. Like in some cases like you'll get less, in some cases like you might not see much of a difference at all, so it all depends.
I was genuinely surprised because there were some maps I actually went to go test and I'm like, oh, it's not really like too big of a gain or difference. I was like, oh, so this wasn't actually like a map that had an issue with colliders. It was just more something else.
There's like a map, like for example, like when I was like doing like a lot of testing, like went to like lots of different worlds, and like there's like maps that are like more heavy, like let's say logics. Like there's like this map like which has like literally like how logics update. It doesn't have much of colliders, so that one will pretty much like need different optimizations to kind of like run better. So, and it's kind of like the thing is like a lot of these systems that are like very complex combinations of lots of different systems. This helps optimize like a pretty big chunk of it, but there's still like a lot more things, and certain maps and certain avatars and certain items gonna hit different parts of the system, like more than the others.
Yeah, so we got our next question here from Reactant. Will it be possible to create a large Minecraft-like world with individual blocks and have it perform well?
Actually, you have the response to this one.
Well, the thing is like with kind of like the, well, it depends. Like, do you want like the blocks to be editable? Because that kind of requires like different approach than like if it's just like a static map. We do actually have I have a world that I want to showcase, which is like a Minecraft import, but it is like mesh colliders. You cannot change the blocks. If you wanted to make the blocks actually like so you can like interact with them, that's a little bit more complicated. Technically, yes, with some additions, because like the BEPUv2, it has like mechanisms where you can sort of like add like more custom colliders, and it even has like an example which is like a voxel-based collider. So, but that would require like some extra things to be built on top. Like you probably wouldn't like want to do that with the vanilla one. You could try like putting lots of like just like individual colliders there, but I don't think that would perform as well. Usually for the kind of like system like where you know like you have lots of like blocks and we have like you're gonna have like lots of colliders, you kind of want one system that's like more like custom tailored.
Yeah. Plus having all those small objects inside the world that can also add into the performance because having to calculate out each. What is that usually called when it's having too many objects that are inside the world? Isn't there like
a bad idea?
Sure.
A bad idea. Okay. So we got our next question here from Blue Boy Blitz. So this may be a bit of a niche question, if I may ask, but will there be things like cloth simulation? So I think this is more for like question instead of for BP2. This is more like question for the rigid body physics.
Rigid body support.
Yeah, so this is more like.
Well, cloth simulation. You can sort of approximate like cloth simulation with rigid body, like if you create like lots of objects and sort of like link them together, like with constraints. It's not a very good way to do cloth simulation because like you're pretty much gonna use all your performance for like a one piece of cloth, and that's all you'll have. If you really want to, like, you probably will be able to do that, like set it up. But if you want actual like cloth simulations, let's say for an avatar, nowadays that's usually like more specialized system, and actually more like system like the dynamic bones. It's like a way of like doing like cloth simulation where like it doesn't literally interact like with everything in the environment, but like just like parts of like the avatar.
Like
it's very simplified like simulation.
Moving around with dynamics, like dynamic bones right now for that movement.
It's pretty much like think of like a cloth simulation that's like typically done. It's sort of like 2D dynamic bone. So this is sort of like a single like chain, and it's very like specialized simulation. It's like very fast. Like it's very like sort of like it's done for like a practical purpose. The cloth simulations that are like used like practically, they're like kind of similar, and instead of like a one chain, like I can actually like sketch this. So, like if this is like dynamic bone, and like this is just being simulated as a simple like thing, the cloth simulation would be sort of like a grid.
Yeah.
And like you'd have like all these are kind of like linked together, and you could like do this with the physics system if you really wanted to. Like with each of these like being a rigid body, it's not gonna be very efficient. If you want this, we'd recommend like creating like a GitHub issue, and we can like make like a specialized system for this kind of thing.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were watching that demo video for the BEPUv2 and just seeing, you know, that blanket fall on the bed and thinking like, oh, you know, is that what we're gonna be a bit? Not exactly for right now.
Again, like you can do that. It's just like that is more of a tech demo, because like if you do that, like you're using like hundreds of like rigid bodies for a piece of cloth, and like you're using all your like CPU just for that cloth, and like nothing else.
I think in the demo actually does like highlight when they're interacting too. You can really see how many rigid bodies are using it.
Yeah. Okay, so we got our next question here from Sandy Sensei. Any anticipated features that BEPUv2 is going to enable? Something on the wish list to have, or wish to have list?
I mean...
Well, definitely the big one is actually like full rigid body simulation. Like that's pretty much like one of the reasons like we're doing it. But part of like the upgrade is sort of like optimization and sort of like having like a good framework to build that optimization and features. But it's also because we do want to integrate full rigid body physics where you can like throw objects around, you can have like things like interact in like physical ways, build games, like build like lots of like vehicles and all kinds of crazy things. So that's definitely like the major one, and like the upgrade is sort of like a prerequisite for that. There's a lot of smaller ones, bunch of them actually are like implemented. Like for example, like we showed like earlier, is like when you crouch, you can actually like walk under stuff. There's like some optimizations that have been like done like based on it as well, like with like the wall loading. So yeah, it's pretty much like. And there's like definitely more like optimizations. I'm kind of looking forward to like using some of its algorithms. Like one of the things I also want to use it for is sort of like build culling systems, because it like part of like the physics engine is having like systems that allow you like efficiently query like the space and figure out like what's where, like without having to like never like iterate over everything. So definitely like looking forward to like building more stuff like that. But I would say like the rigid body simulation is like the most fun kind of thing.
Yeah, which was the whole reason why BEPUv2 was even thought about being implemented, was the fact that it's the stepping stone to get rigid bodies inside here. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to do it at all. And then next question here that we have for Snooper, does BEPUv2 upgrade come with any more debug logging for physics? That's an interesting question.
Not really. It kind of like use like debug like visuals and so on like during development, but they're generally very heavy. That like will take away our performance. Like we don't enable those like when we're like solving a particular problem.
I do know that the debug menu, you did add a little bit more info and it got its own tab, so at least lets people have at least kind of something to mess with if need be.
Yeah. There's also like information like what's was like the physics engine going and like which parts of it are getting stressed, but there's like it's mostly for kind of like internal use. So like I would kind of like advise people like looking too much into it.
So I think this is like another rigid, kind of like a rigid body physics question, not really a BEPUv2 question, but Angel asks, claw physics, skeleton physics, bone works like ragdoll, orbital physics like gravity. Will these such things be possible in the far future?
I would say some of those are possible now, but with I guess when stuff goes more into the future with like ragdolls and like skeletal physics, that could be something of like user defined in terms of like them designing it out, or just adding support in terms of once we get rigid bodies, they'd be able to make avatars that have ragdoll like setups.
Yeah. A lot of stuff is pretty much going to be built like, because the rigid body like implementation is going to be like a bunch of like building blocks, and you can like do like things like you can do in like a game engine with physics. Like you'll be able to do things like that inside of Neos. The cloth physics that we can like, talk about it like earlier, just more like a special like system, but yeah, it's definitely going to like open up a lot of like possibilities and for people to build stuff.
Yeah, so for far future, it's more leaning onto the side of yes than no.
Yeah, and I definitely see people making more bonework like simulations or bonework like maps, because with the new collider pushing up, you could easily do like the what's the word, where you can like hop on top of a box.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Hey, that would be great for that one Maddie's map that they made out for that MC.
You could already do that. You could already do that in Parkour Redux.
Yeah, the parkour.
It's there in the MMC section. Go give it a look.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So Zerky Dragon says, can you explain, like I'm 5, okay, the difference between how a world in Neos works versus an open world game such as Fallout or Skyrim in terms of performance?
Ooh.
It's kind of hard like when explaining like you're 5.
I
would say like the big like difference is like that Neos is like built like a lot of like user-made content. So like you like when you make Skyrim or Fallout, like you have a team of like professionals, and like they plan everything, they prepare everything. They're like, we're gonna have this thing in the game, and everything sort of like fits together like a really nice piece of puzzle. With Neos, like you've got all kinds of things kind of coming from lots of different like people like from all over the place, and everybody does things like differently, so it's kind of like hard to make like assumptions about a system. It's like
Also, the NPCs are included as well.
Can I try to explain like 5 attempt at it?
I was just going to chime in on one thing. Is the other thing with a lot of those games is the game knows what's going to happen next. Whereas with Neos, I could throw a cube in, and the engine goes, "Oh God, there's a cube. What do I do with it?" Whereas with Fallout or a game, it doesn't expect something random. Everything's already there, so it knows how to deal with it all.
Right.
I kind of made like a more specialized system that like handles like like you design the game, you know what kind of like rules the game is gonna have, you know what kind of interactions the game gonna have, and like you pretty much like you design your engine to like handle those things very efficiently. But the problem is like it cannot really do much else. The Neos is like designed to be kind of more open-ended, like where you can do lots of different things.
It's like if you were to take Skyrim and add in mods, and if you added in too many mods into that level for Skyrim, then it's obviously going to decrease down the performance and things are going to start happening because you're adding in mods to that the engine itself wasn't originally made for. What were you going to say, Tim?
And to chime back in, because I said explain it like they were 5 years old, Neos, anything can happen. Skyrim, only expected things can happen. There you go.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Cool.
Okay, so next, this isn't really a serious one. Anyone down for a game of Jenga? Yes, maybe when we get that proper, we will have for rigid body business.
The ones we have right now, like if you do it, they have no friction. So good luck.
Yeah, good luck on that one. So,
game of Jenga.
So Zerky Dragon
says,
what's the key difference then between user-generated content versus, say, Bethesda-generated content that makes Skyrim and Fallout feel so different from Neos? So
again, that was pretty much what we'd explained, really. As I say, everything in Neos, you could say, is sort of, is procedural, whereas everything there is expected.
Yeah.
It's like one thing, like when we like make like games, it's like you. Whenever like designing like a game, usually like they have like sort of like a performance budget. Like they say like we're targeting like this hardware, like it needs to run at least on this, it needs to run on this console. This is like how many like milliseconds per frame like we can use, and everything they design is like sort of like fit into the performance budget. They're like Neos, it's like you don't have that, like because you've got like people like bringing like their content, and like even like every session is like a combination of like all kinds of like different things, so it's kind of hard to like budget it the same way.
Our performance budget is set by the people screaming in the world about how many frames they've lost.
Well, it's like a lot of stuff can be pre-calculated as well, like certain shadow casting and stuff, and our shadows have to be 100% dynamic. As another example.
There's other aspects too with like Bethesda generated content where generally they have like full out creation kits and stuff for this. With Neos, you're in the engine working within the engine too. So it's like stuff will be dynamic.
Yeah, it's the same with SL and stuff as well. SL used to have the same performance issues because everything was dynamic.
Still does have the same performance issues. I looked it yesterday, I had 10 frames.
I don't say that it's like that everything has to be dynamic, because like even if things like Neos, like we can give people tools to like help sort of like big stuff, and like that's like where like a lot of the things gonna come in. It's like where Neos starts to sort of like pre-calculate stuff. It's even like where the BEPUv stuff is, like where like a lot of like collider data, for example, like it tries to like schedule it and like build it like on the cloud, and it's sort of like tries its best to kind of optimize like your content and give you like some tools so you can optimize it better, but it's more just like that different people like they have different computers, they don't necessarily consider like the like performance budget of everybody's like computer like when designing their content, especially when combining it with everybody else's.
I agree with what you say there, Renari.
To follow up with the question we just had, because it seems it's related to that then, is there any hope of recreating, say, Skyrim Neos? Is there something missing from Neos, or is it just going to remain impossible? So would you guys think Skyrim and Neos would be possible, at least in some form?
Can make it
at some point.
We have Black Mesa in Neos.
It's not Minecraft.
As long as I can just bust throw Darturk around the room, I don't care.
I'm sure if we had the same amount of people that were working on Skyrim to come into Neos and start working on their own little diverse piece of map. Yeah, I'm sure anything can be possible, but that takes
Yeah.
so long and so much time. People don't think about the logistics of people have to put in the effort and the work to that. So it's more that why that would probably be an impossible. But Toroid, yeah, people do.
It's
There
gonna
are a few
take a lot
people,
of time.
but
You could
a
definitely make
whole
RPGs in
full-fledged
your
game,
Mesa
that doesn't
world,
sound like that's
Electrospy is making the entirety of Black Mesa in Nears. You can play
Right, but that
the
still takes
entire
time.
tram sequence
Yes.
now.
Yeah, that's just the trans sequence, though. If we're talking about the whole full game, yeah, that's going to take them
yeah.
basically
Yeah.
as much time as
I-
how it took for the
I could
tram
see
times
it
that by 20
happening,
or 30.
but the maps would be split up like pretty lot.
Yeah, okay, so
I think we'll probably like, see like
Toroid,
more of it like over time as it goes, because
Trojan
like the
Astral
way like we
Plus
develop
D.
Neos is like add more rules, optimize things, and the more rules we add for people, the easier it is like for them to like build the content. And the more time also people spend like building content for Neos, the more experience they get, the more they learn how Neos works, how to kind of like design things efficiently. So I think like over time like we'll see like more and more complex experiences, and we've kind of been like on the trend for a while. So
Indeed.
so Toroid
Thanks for the
says,
bits, Ghost.
sorry if it's covered
It'll
already.
probably
What
continue.
parts of BEPUv2 are used right now? Collisions? Question mark. Yeah.
So
Yes.
pretty much like the physics engine, like it's like used for like all the like kind of like physical like interactions, like where you click something with your laser or where you grab something, like it needs like a system to figure out like, oh, there's like an object there, or maybe there's an object like here, and this is like if I shoot a laser this way, like it hits this object. So a lot of like these interactions, like they're done through the physics engine. You also got like the sort of like physical simulation of you as a character. We're like moving around, jumping around, colliding with environment. That's also like handled by the physics engine. It's like a bunch of like other things like under the hood, but like pretty much like it's kind of fun because if you look like into the devlog, there's this like early video like where I started work on BEPUv2, where I removed the first version of it, and like you could pretty much like run Neos, but like you couldn't do anything, like you couldn't click things because there's no way to interact with anything. You could like do few basic operations, like you could like that don't depend on a like interaction, like for example, you could like use no clip, but like you couldn't use physical locomotion, you couldn't click any UIs, you couldn't pretty much do anything because it all kind of is handled like through the physics engine.
Alright. Cool,
I
so hopefully they answer.
that video was right at the end of it when you open the menu to try and click the next button, and then you're like, all right,
Yes.
you can just start F4.
Oh, Ghost, thanks for the next lot of 200 bits. That's 200 bits from Ghost.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Ghost.
Okay, so next question we have here is from Electrospy. Will there be a special kind of controller option which will also register no-clip locomotion avatars so a calling system stays intact and the world is not just disappearing?
Collider option, not controller.
We're probably gonna be like doing like a collider option. But there's actually one thing we do want to do with the BEPUv2 is like build like calling systems on top of it and make them sort of like independent of like the actual like collisions like in a world where it's using the acceleration structures and sort of like querying, like figuring out like the users like in this area, so like I should like activate these parts of the map and deactivate those. So there's definitely gonna be coming stuff like calling systems. It might be more like indirect, like where you don't use it, where you don't like configure it as colliders. It might utilize the same colliders. We're gonna see like on that, like
Okay.
it still has to be like designed.
Because I think he brings up that question, because right now, if you no-clip in a world that has, like, collider tracking, everything turns off. Like, I know there's, like, one map, Midnight Rooftop, where you just go, just because you kind of go to the map if you no-clip.
Yeah, that's that teleport and stuff. Oh, by the way, Gooey Dragon, thank you for the 10 gifted subs.
Oh no, my
Thank you, Gooey.
the left
For
trigger,
joining
the left trigger on my index controller broke.
Oh no, have you just broke it?
Well, it's falling off now.
Damn.
Oh no.
Clarjon, thank you, or no, not. I'm sorry. Thank you, Gooey Dragon, for all those gifted subs. But Clarjon says I can take the Black Mesa tram in Neos. Yes, you can. It was actually made out by Electro, and they did a wonderful job. You can search it up inside the world's listing. Max Deadbear says, do you guys have any positions open that can possibly help with?
No, unfortunately not.
No. Sorry, no.
Yeah. But you
Thank
can
you for
always,
asking,
but you
though.
can always add into the help of Neos just by creating content and building out some stuff that you want here in Neos and helping out users. I hear that is always needed for help.
And of course, if you're specifically interested in helping out with the new BEPUv improvements, you can join in the Danger Nightly build right now and submit bugs that you've come across. It'd be great help.
I
Live on the
have someone telling me in
danger.
DMs right now something broke, so I gotta go check it out after.
If you'd like to know how to find that stuff, head into our main Discord and just go into the testing channel, and you'll find the information pinned in there or in Frux's last post.
And if you guys want to be
Save on
pinged
it.
about it, I recommend reacting to the danger testing role. The name might change; it's tentative, but
Yes.
it'll at least let you know whenever new updates are coming out to check out.
You can find that up
can
in
be found
Welcome
in
into
the
Links.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Rusio has a question here. If objects, worlds, or avatars are saved to the inventory in the BEPUv2 preview build, are those backwards compatible for the release build?
We do not guarantee compatibility.
Yeah, don't save anything that like you don't want losing.
Yeah.
Whee!
Only come onto the BEPUv2 version when you're really wanting to just test stuff, see if like items that are already in your inventory are working, or see if the worlds are working, and giving back feedback for it. But yeah.
I have to
Old
go find
Danger
my water
Nightly.
bottle.
Or recent.
Yep. Let me sit.
Especially
actually,
the
relating to
danger in the
the-
name isn't for anything. For nothing.
Would you guys be fine answering questions while I try to fix my controller? Maybe I could put like duct tape on it.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
Ghost,
we
thank
got
We
you.
got plenty.
Thank you again, Ghost, for the even more
Definitely needs
bits,
an
more
army on that.
hundreds.
Actually, Gypty, did you want to explain how some of the BEPU testing was going on for this pass, or?
Yeah, could take a bit to do that.
Yeah, because it's been really interesting on like, and I realize not everyone has been able to see, but it's actually done a lot, and I'm really impressed with it. So I figured we should at least share it with everyone if we can.
Yeah, I actually released some of these details in the testing channel in an announcement post a little bit ago. Basically, I am starting a third volunteer team for Neos that exists alongside the Mentors and Mods. It is the QC team. And basically their function is to help coordinate feedback and reporting of bugs and issues and problems experienced in the community, just to kind of help improve communication between the community and the Neos team. I've been running testing for this in the volunteer Discord server, and they've done an absolutely amazing job of helping to identify and replicate a bunch of issues in BEPUv2 prior to the open testing that we're doing now.
It's been like really amazing like help like for the development process, and like probably also like the most fun I kind of had like actually like testing something like in a long while. It's like everybody like on the QC team has like made like great like reports and like helping replicate stuff and so on. We kind of knocked out like a lot of the big issues like really early on.
It's definitely been an improvement from previous like big change stuff that we've been going through. Because I seriously really do appreciate that we've been going through this, and thank you, Shifty. Because it's made it so much smoother and so much more relaxed for everyone too. Because I know usually whenever big stuff like this happens, everyone gets a little anxious and stressed. So thank you.
For anybody interested, please check out the testing channel in the News Community Discord and look for the announcement posts by Fruxius and myself. Also included is a document that I'm releasing, which basically outlines the structure, best practices, and other information about the QC team.
Duct tape, the universal repair solution to everything, said Rampart.
Yes.
I don't know. Sometimes crazy glue has helped where duct tape has failed.
Silly putty.
Contact cement.
Haven't tried that one.
Gorilla
gonna say
tape,
epoxy.
yes. Gorilla glue.
Well, yes.
Yeah, Aegis is with me. Epoxy. Let's go.
The epoxy boys.
The answer is, of course, use all of these at once, possibly.
That's.
Oh God. Is the QC team the new duct tape?
New duct tape. Or are you gonna call them duct tapers?
Oh, there we go. Here's a question for you, Fruits. How many controllers have you gone through so far? How many controllers have you broken?
Like indexes?
In total.
Just in total, any?
I don't know.
Oh no, he lost count.
That's a good response.
And like we've used like a bunch of like razor hydras like early on, like with like I don't know, does leap motion count? We had like a bunch of like prototypes for like the touches, like when like they were coming out, the Vive controllers, like a whole bunch of those. I had like a bunch of like dev kits of the indexes. It was actually fun because I think probably like most controllers I went through like were the index controllers, because they had like this really interesting like issue like early on where like the strap that kind of holds it to your hand, the little bit like where it kind of connects and you can sort of like push it in and like adjust it would like keep breaking.
Oh no.
And it's kind of cool because whenever like they would break, like you just like send like a picture like to Valve and they're like, yeah, here's another one, like here, keep this thing. So like we got a whole bunch of went through a whole bunch of these.
Yeah. Jeez,
Snooper says he's on his fifth pair of index controllers.
God, that's
If
like
you just break your controllers with leap motion, that seems very concerning.
Oh, hey, a Fox guy, thank you for the follow.
And this is with warranty.
I did smack a whole bunch of like Vive controllers into a wall. Actually, I did break a whole bunch of like Vive ones as well. But usually like for them like I would end up like smacking them into like wall or like a furniture, and like the touchpad would actually stop like registering one of the parts.
You did that?
It's like after I went through all the like dev kits of like index controllers, I actually like bought a pair, and it was like sometime after release, and I still have that pair. Like
wow.
These are still like these are holding now like for over a year and a half.
I was gonna say, and you smacked them last stream.
I smacked this a few times and it's still like.
I was gonna say, I remember you smacking them last stream, and you're like, I smacked my hand on the
controllers
wall.
are the ones that I got with my headset, in the full kit, and they've been just fine since day one, like 4,000 hours later, and they're like still just fine.
I'm surprised that it even broke without me hitting anything. It just broke me just using it once, and then cling, the thing popped off.
Did the duct tape work next?
Yeah, I used electrical tape, just a thin piece of electrical tape, wrapped it around there, kind of crevice, and actually works now pretty well. Like
there you go, there's your answer then, Seeker.
Electrical tape.
Actually, that does bring up a good question, Shifty. Are QC members going to have badges at all? Because duct tape could be a good badge if you want.
I don't typically duct tape, but yes, it is intended that they will have a badge at a point, yeah.
Yeah, probably not duct tape, because that's just to signify as like we put a band-aid on it and not really yeah.
Hey.
Just add a hammer and duct tape. There you go.
Duct tape is a legitimate strategy.
It is.
What? I'm not certain.
That seems like a Patrick strategy. Just take the hammer and put duct tape on it and just slam it with the hammer. Yeah.
I'm honored red-green tradition.
Hang on, here we go. Where's Nex?
No one here knows who red-green is.
Yeah, we'll just
tape the neck.
There we go.
Duct tape for you.
We'll just protect him. Yeah, we're doing all this off camera as well, but there you go. We're protecting Nexlin.
I feel so protected right now. Oh wow, thank you.
Careful taking that off though. You might lose a feather or two.
We have one person who knows red-green. You understand the necessity of duct tape.
Thanksgiving will be coming early.
The things I do for love.
Well, at least you won't have to pluck the chicken this year.
At least he'll have a fresh plume coming for next season.
No, Seeker. Duct tape is perfectly fine with feathers. Taking duct tape off feathers is an entirely different discussion, but applying duct tape works just wonders.
Don't you, Next, if you feel very safe, just scream.
Hey, Ghost, thanks for the 200 bits.
I think it's the other way around.
I feel very stuck right now. Help me, chat, please.
Are you sure you want help, Next?
If it ain't broke, fix it until it is.
This just reminds me of people being duct taped to chairs.
Well, thank you. At least I get food.
Oh, wait, no, I don't, no. You just ate the duct tape.
Perfect.
By the way, Turk Valley or Turk Rexium when?
Funny, but no, I'm not comfortable in those avatars. Apologies.
Turk, when will you join the skeleton war?
Maybe, yeah.
For Halloween.
I'm not against that one.
Just for you, Canadian, I will be a spooky, scary skeleton for Halloween.
How did
Ooh.
Nex end up with the pizza?
Are we gonna get a next volley skeleton though? That's the thing.
Yeah.
No,
that could
no,
happen, too.
look.
Why not?
Yeah.
We already have that cursed one. Should I bring
Commander
that out on
turned
stream?
off. I need to fix that.
Which one? No, don't
needs
show.
to
Just tell which one.
The Pikachu one.
What?
Don't you remember the Pikachu one? Here, let me show the Pikachu one.
I don't.
By the way, guys, Zeus Nex. Feel free to Zeus Nex.
It's always a thing. Oh, wait.
Oh, good
It's
lord.
Pikachu.
No.
It is.
No.
Chat, can you Zeus him, please?
Next,
Someone
stop
Zeus
destroying
him!
people's childhoods.
Please.
I like that you guys are seeing Kirsten Go's chat.
No. You know what it says to me? You don't have the
there
brown
we go.
tummy. Oh wait, how's it gonna work when?
Oh no! They exploded him too fast.
Like I can respond, I think.
Amazing.
Who is going as a headless server for Halloween?
I will admit, as cursed as it looks, that actually fits a little bit.
Oh.
It fits a little bit. What's this time?
Oh no!
Wait,
Lewis isn't even
Who is
here,
this?
so.
Lewis? Wait, why did it? I'm confused.
Lewis isn't even in the session.
Yeah. How did that even go off?
Indeed.
Interesting.
It can still Zeus.
Oh.
Fruits. There's another demonstration you had in mind, yeah?
Who's going as a headless server for
Wait,
Halloween?
Angel-
Before we completely forget.
Angel, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
I've got a
make you feel
warm to
insulted.
showcase.
Hey, to be fair, it's missing the brown tummy. Pikachu always has like a little bit of a brown tummy.
Oh,
folks.
Hey, by
One
the way,
more showcase
Angel.
world.
Oh yes.
Showcase.
Everyone, we're going to be
Angel
going
was
to
the one
a
that
world
exploded you.
that Frox wants to show off. We're going to be going to the
This was like
Minecraft
also a bit to load, but like it runs actually pretty well on this build.
Also, Shifty, I have to say I really like your outfit. It looks really nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
It doesn't need
You
load
also
time.
did an amazing
Very
job
cute.
with it. It's actually
Who
a
did
free
it?
update for anybody that has behind
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Yeah, that outfit looks really cute.
Yeah.
Okay,
Angel
so-
says it looked absolutely terrible.
Oh, you're talking about the next one. Yeah, you're talking about the Pikachu
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured
Angel
that's
Boy
it.
didn't like
Hey,
it.
And that's like that's really cool too. Is like each individual clothing bit is
Oh, nice.
separately toggleable.
That's super
Awesome.
Very neat.
Yeah, don't worry, Drace. Though I already am working on Charmander and Bulbasaur and Squirtle too.
No.
But yeah, that they did a great job on those outfits. Okay, so we're loaded inside of here. Brock says to show us the Minecraft style world. I guess it's for something that's to do for BEPUv2. It's taking a long time to load though. Oh.
Which Minecraft world is this? This doesn't look like ours.
This is one of my older ones.
Ah.
And don't worry, the screen is not frozen. I just have to load in to be able to click on stuff.
That's if I can load into it.
Don't do this here, so.
My body wants to get it deleted.
I cannot wait for 1.18.
Woo! Here we are, you guys. We're in Minecraft.
I loaded
I'll
in.
host a server for
Yep,
that.
I'm loaded in.
Hello.
Hello.
So, just to give it a little bit of like context, like this is like one of the Minecraft maps I imported. This world is huge. This is around 50,000 chunks.
Yeah, let's show
And
it
like
off when we
this
fly around.
map stretches like you cannot see the whole thing either. Like this is like you're seeing just like maybe 1% of this map.
Right, because it's all occluded out. Dang, look at how massive that is, you
What
guys.
you see, like it doesn't show everything at once. Like this is just like 1% of it. Just follow me.
Oh, where did Frogs go? Oh, are they... Hello? Oh, hi.
Yes, as it turns out, follow me was a challenge,
Yeah.
not a request.
Yeah, it's a game mode.
So like this is like one of like the big improvements because like what this map does, it uses it uses like the triggers for culling. So like there's thousands of like giant like colliders that are like overlapping the like whole map, each group of like 4x4 chunks, and each one of them is like using the collider user tracker to like enable and disable the loading the meshes and colliders as we go around. So the map it pretty much like it gets like cold as you like explore, and it kind of like makes it like manageable. But on the previous build, because like some of the handling of colliders was like inefficient, like this map would like run horribly. Like this would like maybe run like 20 FPS on desktop.
Yeah, we'd be dying right now.
Oh, next.
Yeah, like we would be dying, but with this it actually runs like really well.
You need to make
This
a
is
map.
like
Come on.
this map is like mostly like limited by the actual like GPU, because like it has pretty
Oh.
far like render distance. It's like
Great.
rendering millions of polygons, and like
What's up, Ruth?
Can you put yourself in broadcast,
Just like
Fruits?
follow me.
Here, I'll broadcast him. I got that.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
I'm broadcast now.
Yeah.
That's better.
Could you hear the explanation?
Yeah, we can even still hear you while we were out. That's why I was trying to keep up with you.
Can I actually put yourself in broadcast as well, because I cannot hear you.
Yeah, I'll just switch to
Out
shout.
I go.
Then it won't- then it
Yeah,
won't-
there we
then it
go.
won't-
Oh,
then it
should
won't
be
do that.
better, yeah.
Yeah, there
Hello?
you go. Oh.
Hello.
So like, let's just like go like a little bit like I just want to show you like a little bit of how big this map is. Like it's
Actually,
enormous.
shout too.
Do you have any guesses like how big this map is? Like when it's saved on Neos, how much storage does this take? This map alone.
Maybe 2 gig?
4.5 gigabytes.
4.5 gig.
Now, mind
Yes.
you, that's Minecraft 4.5 gig, which is a lot more.
What? No, this is on Neos. This like the actual like assets on Neos.
Right, but I'm saying because, you know, Minecraft is known to use pretty optimized models and textures. 4.5 gig is quite a lot
It's
for
mostly like
Minecraft.
mesh data.
Yeah.
I was like using like a sort of like a test bed for the system, making sure like this like runs well, because even
Oh.
during the early phases of like the backup.
I think I'm freezing.
If you are, you might be loading the other chunks.
Makes sense.
Where did it go? I kind of lost too.
Next is over
Are
here.
you following me?
Yes, I'm just
Yeah.
flying at a very slow speed. Very
Oh,
quick.
go to like walking around, because like fly slow.
I think
I
Wraith froze.
was on no clue. Woo! It is definitely the chunky around in this area.
Kind of happens here is like there's actually another part of like Neos that kind of like wants to be optimized. As you walk around, it's actually like loading more of the map, and it's like the loading of the meshes that kind of like gives you the spike.
Yep.
So if you like stay like in a circle for a bit, like it runs like pretty smooth.
Yeah, it was loading the extra pieces. So for the other person that was asking questions about like Skyrim being nice, I would probably be doing something like this if you're loading extra areas.
You could definitely get stuff like the maps and stuff. It's just more so when you get into the more complicated scripting and like the brains behind trying to get stuff like that. That's where you kind of run into the interesting problems.
Yeah,
And you gotta get creative with it.
That's what was already said, is basically like, you know, game engines are built for the game they're developing. So, you know,
It's
something
just
like
loading.
Skyrim is optimized and built for making Skyrim. So, like, a lot of the systems would need to be recreated in Neos, like, if it were to ever happen.
Definitely. But yeah, this place is massive. You see, like, all
Like
throughout.
this is nothing. Like this is maybe like 1% of it that we've seen so far. Like you
Right,
can go in the direction for like minutes. No longer at this
Dang.
place.
Well, for me, it might take hours because of having to load extra stuff. Oh,
Look, you get next.
yeah, it's just very hard on my computer.
Oh,
All good. Are you still downloading?
No, I'm not
Maybe
downloading
loading
anything.
so much.
I'm just loading the chunks.
Oh
one at a
boy.
time. Once it
might have-
loads, then I run smooth. Like I run smooth
I
once
might
it
have
loads.
set like the render distance like on this one a little bit like too far, so it's like it's pushing a lot at the same
Yeah.
time.
Just a little bit. Dang, I really feel like I'm in Minecraft though.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
One of the things I've been like looking for is like once this like releases, I kind of like want to publish like bunch of maps like this. I'll probably like, need to do like some more like tweaking, but probably like lower the like render distance.
What's up,
That's a good excuse to do like another optimization I'm wanting to do for a while, which is like the mesh loading, because right now it kind of like gives you like stutters as it loads.
Yeah, that's fine.
Boing. Oh, another nice thing about the new engine update too is smaller colliders. You actually just end up walking over them. If you step on the fences, you can kind of see where, since it's a mesh collider, you just kind of bounce over the little nubs of the fence posts. You know, just stop and get stuck.
Yeah, before on the previous BEPUv2 you would get stuck on those, but now it's a lot easier to even walk upstairs too.
Yeah, I think as long as your stair inclines aren't too drastic, but I don't know if that's editable in the locomotion settings. But for the most part, it's definitely a solid upgrade for a lot of people who wanted to do like small little inclines or bumps.
There's still like more to do in it as well, like because like the BEPUv2 is like all the more like low level. You can actually sort of like customize a lot of the behaviors and kind of like build on top of them. We actually done it for the character controller for a bit because like it didn't originally, like the sample code, it doesn't have support for like sliding motion. It has only like traction or like air control. But because we previously had like the sort of like sliding control, I have to kind of like re-implement like that part. And because of that, like I know kind of like how the underlying code like works for that. And kind of want to like look if we can like improve like the sort of like handling, because like one thing the character controller does is it's trying to like pick up like wherever contact point with the environment is actually like best like sort of like support candidate, like what's kind of like what kind of piece of geometry or environment like in a collider that you're like standing on, and it's like logic that can be like tweaked, so like change like a little bit how the candidates are like picked up.
Did everyone say? Okay, just making sure we didn't lose anyone. It's a big map. I think we lost Wraith.
Yeah, I think he might have crashed.
Good thing is they can just jump to us.
Yeah.
Is it kind of weird? Like I'm like we need to get to shelter. It's gonna like the sun is gonna go down soon.
Yeah, we're exploring the map. We're trying to find some cows and pigs. Just make sure we got food later. Maybe some blueberries too.
Blueberries?
But you don't eat pork though, Turk.
I don't. That's Minecraft.
So when are you going to implement squid?
Squid, ooh.
Wait, I can't even go to no clip. Oh,
Well, first there'd be squidly. Then there'd be squid-like.
I'll just jump back to
And there'd be squid.
Hello. Nice to see you. Let me jump over to them again. If you want to jump to them too, you could just go under session then users.
Ooh, hiccup.
Why
did you hear me?
I can't even switch my locomotion.
My CPU is so bugged right now that my eye tracking stopped working.
There we go. I'm just gonna switch to no or fly, I guess. And then jump to them. Hello.
Hello.
So for me right now, I don't see anything underneath you guys. It's not
I think it's like loading still. Wait, what locomotion are you in?
Fly.
Oh, fly through. Yeah, I think like you're still like downloading all this stuff. Maybe like.
Yeah, I fell through. I fell through the floor right when I.
This map might not be best like when you're streaming because it is a lot of data to download as you're like walking around.
Yeah, just a little bit. Now I can see portions all the way over there.
It's a snowfox.
Ah.
Cool.
Let's see what you guys are standing on.
Just
Oh,
like...
and it's coming through. Slowly but surely. Oh, there we go. Now I can see. Now we're good.
Could he still be generating the S invariants for this one, or is this one still?
No, this one should be already generated.
Okay.
It's probably not generating it, I think. I think there's a little to download because there's a lot of like mesh geometry and so on. And like the distance here is like really far, so like it's loading a lot of them at once.
Oh, it's a village with walls.
Yes, yeah, I put the walls there.
Oh, you put the walls there?
Yes.
My. Maybe there's a villager there.
Big chunks. Oh, let's go to the village. That looks cool. I want to go to the village.
Yes. It's like also
dibs on the
there's also like a chasm over there near the village.
Oh, looks like there's like a mine right under the village too.
Yes. I put like a fence here so they don't fall in.
The voice is now starting to cut in and out just a little bit. Oh, can you go down here? Oh. Oh, I see. Whoa, that's a far drop there.
Yes.
It's all underground. That's cool. Nice. Hello. Ooh. I think I'm frozen. Can you guys hear me? I might have crashed again. Yeah, my Neos is frozen. If you guys can hear me, try kicking me from the world. If you guys can hear me. I don't know if they can hear me or not. Yeah, they probably can't hear me. I'm going to restart. Let's put on the BRB sign. Give me a sec, you guys. We'll be right up in just a second, you guys. Sorry about that, chat. Hello. Oh, my pupils were looking all weird there.
I can leave it in my Minecraft map.
Yeah, the Minecraft one was a little bit large there.
Yes.
At least for when I'm streaming.
It is like a stress test in a way.
Yeah, that's all good. But yeah, for the stream is almost gonna be over, so we'll just keep talking with chat here.
Yes. Well, I got one more thing to show as well that I thought I remembered. No, actually, I can show this here.
Show it here. Okay, cool. So here, look at the camp.
But I just have a Minecraft like one. It's pretty much like a showcase. Like it's like meant to like push like Neos like to its limits and like do things like otherwise like wouldn't be. So it's like a really good test bed for like doing bunch of like optimizations, and like with the BEPUv2 and like the new integration, like it actually like gets to the point like where it's like usable. Just needs like some more like tweaking.
Let's see it. That's the whole point of showing it off on the stream.
So the other thing that was also changed is you know how like there's like certain objects. I'm gonna like spawn a few. So let's say I have like the spooder.
The spooder. Yeah.
A spooder. And I have like actually is this one for testing. Wait, is this on this build? Oh no,
why do you always spawn the one
build.
that doesn't have teeth, boy? Why the non-teeth one?
I had this one on quick out. Oh, that's weird though. Did I push this on this build? That's weird.
Oh, and Frox's.
Okay, this is weird because like, did something get reversed? That's really strange.
Oh, is it not functioning the way it should be?
Yes. It might have gotten something might have happened with it. So essentially what I was like doing is, like how like, well, it's actually happening right now because it shouldn't be. It was
right. So you're saying that the update for it should make it so that when you're targeting it with your laser, that it isn't going to cause you like frame rate. Right. So
yeah, because like
normally,
this is a really heavy mesh.
Yeah, normally you guys, when there were like sculpts being made up that have high topology, they would cause like severe frame loss or packet drop.
Oh, I have to bring this one as a video. I'm not sure what happened. I have to like check the build, but it seems like some of it got reverted.
It's not happening for me.
Maybe I don't have it loaded for those.
Yeah, actually for me it's not doing that anymore. So personally it feels fine. For you it seems to be doing
interesting.
That, but for mine, yeah, normally I'd be lagging if I start shooting my laser at these things.
So pretty much like what the system does is like there's like a new mechanism where it like the asset variant system, it actually computes like a rough density of the geometry. So like if it sees like, oh, this mesh is like really dense, the laser will like instead of like trying to sort of like slide around the object, which would cause too much performance because of how dense it is. Like if I like showcase, oh this is actually going on. Oh, maybe I have cached data for it from earlier. Add this one. Yeah, for me it's doing this. It's real strange. I need to check what's going on. But I feel like this is like a really dense mesh, and it's not really good like testing this like with like a complex like convex sweeps. So if it sees like, oh, this is like too heavy, it'll actually kind of skip it, and the laser will just like stick to the last point, and that way like you don't die, like you don't get like those like severe frame drops.
Well, currently I'm feeling that right now because I already know how high this one is, and I'm not actually getting any frame rate loss me pulling my lasers at it.
Yep. This one's like a really extreme case. Like this is.
Yep, this is my first avatar instead of Neos VR, and yep, that was oof.
2 million triangles.
Yeah.
What is it? Oh my god.
It does like measure like how dense it is though. So like relative to like, it's like if you make it really big.
Whoa.
Oh no, folks.
There's something wrong on my end for some reason.
Yeah, but seems pretty good.
What does it have?
Like, if you like slide your laser like if it's really big, then it should be like sliding like on the edge, because it is like measuring. It's measuring like the average like density of the triangles relative to the laser size.
Huh.
To those who
That's
can hear me,
weird.
I say, do not despair.
I might get no frame rate drop.
Yeah, for me, I'm not getting. So for me, it's working on my side. It might just be you currently right
Yeah,
now.
sort of a some bug or something still on my end, so I'll have to do some tweaking and testing. It's not weird because like it was like.
Yeah, I'm sure you can figure out some stuff, but that's really good if that's going to come in through the BEPUv2 for making it more optimized through the collisions, which that's a huge one. So Seeker says
there's like some optimizations for tests, so like it should be a little bit like faster. It trades off like some of the precision for like the laser kind of like sticking for like better performance. But if it sees like even like good faster performance, it would like still lag you too much. It skips it.
Oh, and Wraith actually answered the question there. Which is good. Thank you for that, Wraith. So Skywin asks, yeah, let's go inside the room. Skywin asks, are we finally going to be able to host big sessions with 20 people without FPS dying? I don't think that this one would really affect too much that, right? Because it's not really,
well,
I mean, maybe by like a small portion, but if you had still 20 people inside the world...
Well, it kind of depends. Like I mentioned earlier, like the performance, like Neos, it's made out of like lots of different systems, and this kind of optimizes like one big part of it, but there's like a whole bunch of like others.
Yeah.
So like with this upgrade, like you majorly like you get performance benefit for like the base world, like if the world is like really collider heavy. It does have like some like with like toys, gadgets, like with like items in the world, like the avatar, all of that like it's using colliders, so like you should get like some benefit there. We'll have to like do more testing to kind of figure out how much. And also it is just going to be like very situation dependent. Like if you've got lots of heavy logics, or like lots of like heavy like geometry, like those can become bottlenecks and what ultimately keeps you, but this at least like helps kind of like improve like one of those like bottlenecks. It also lets us like do more optimizations, because we plan to like do like we talked about earlier, we plan to like build sort of like cooling systems and like sort of like use the underlying like structures in BEPU to like optimize more of Neos. So there's like more optimizations that are like coming in the future as well. They're gonna be built on top of this.
Yeah, and I think that kind of answers Ergo's question as well about, you know, why is it that case for being inside of here right now, is mostly for the reason that we just have to implement out these major optimizations for Neos to get through, and then we will be able to have a lot more players to be able, as well as Maddie answered a portion of that question too.
One thing I'd like to add with that, I do know this weekend we'll be testing them with like events if we can, so to at least get some more data and see if there's any like weird quirks of them popping up.
I can always like help. Also like doing like sort of like profiling and seeing like the like important thing with performance is sort of like measure like and see like where the performance goes and how it kind of like runs, and then kind of know like what to focus on.
Yep, and then to Angel's question, we have to add to the previous question, what exactly is actually causing the FPS loss, having too many people in one world, and how can we fix it if it was possible?
Well, it's kind of complicated because like there's lots of reasons. Like like in general with performance, you don't have like a single thing that's like causing like the performance. It's like you've got lots of different complex systems. You've got those systems interacting with each other, and like you pretty much have to like focus like on optimizing like lots of them. The physics engine, like and like physics interactions, that's like one of those systems, but there's like a whole bunch of like others. By upgrading like BEPU, like that does like a big chunk of the work. It does give us like a framework to work on more optimizations, but we still have to like do like a whole bunch of like other optimizations to help like in different areas.
Yeah, one thing
that is like it is it's like a gradual process. Like it's not like there's not gonna be like a single thing that's just gonna like fix all of the issues. Like it's gonna be like lots of different tasks, lots of different optimizations or different system, lots of different like upgrades and improvements that are gonna like keep giving you like more and more performance as time goes.
Yeah, one thing I will say though is I think it also has to do with a little bit of like how the IK is, mostly because there was actually a world that actually did have more than 40 players inside of it, and I was actually running at frame rates to where I could actually, you know, be fine to talk with people, but everybody in that world was wearing head and hands avatars, so that added into it being and running so well, plus it was just a grid space. But we've actually had worlds where there's been more than 40 players in one world. It's just you'd have to kind of like be in a very optimized avatar and a very optimized world as well.
This depends like whatever like the bottom like ends up like being in a critical situation.
Yeah.
The main takeaway being perhaps that BEPUv2 enables all those other optimizations to come down the line. It had to happen first.
Yes. Yeah, there's like a whole bunch of like optimizations like that we have like built on top. So like we plan to do like a lot more, but like on itself like it helps like with some things, but like some things like it doesn't, and but like those will be like addressed like afterwards.
Yep. And we got 15 more minutes here till we end off the stream, you guys. We'll be taking in more questions for the next 5 minutes, but until then, afterwards, I just wanted to say thank you again so much for watching this stream and for us giving a little bit more information about BEPUv2. And always, if you have more questions or want to know more about BEPUv2 or even hop inside of here and start testing yourself, please join our Discord, discord.gg/neosvr, and then you can have more information about BEPUv2 if anything wasn't able to be covered here for this stream. And so our next question here from Specs Snowshoe is, does this update have any impact on Avatar IK performance or behavior? I don't believe so, right?
No, this was like asked like early on the stream, like pretty much like the IK itself is like not affected. There's some like indirect improvements, like where like usually when you have like full body avatar you have like a bunch of colliders on it, so like that should be, and there should be like some improvement there, but like the IK itself, like that's a separate thing.
Yep. And the next question by Seeker says, can BEPUv2 worlds be connected to by clients running BEPUv1, or do they have to match versions?
No, they cannot be. Like the build that has like BEPUv2 is not compatible with the build that's like on the old one.
Okay. Well, good question.
This is something like we planned because like once this is like tested, like all builds will be BEPUv2. So
yeah,
like.
Exactly. So BEPUv1 isn't going to ever be compatible with BEPUv2. And Angel Boy here says, I wonder what would be the biggest bottleneck then? Question mark.
Well,
there's
kind of there's multiple things, and also like depends on the situation. So there's just like lots.
Yeah, there's
the world, possibly the people in it, maybe the other things.
Yes.
One of those.
It'd be spawning out my cat head avatar.
Could be any of those. Combinations of those. And interactions of those, it gets complicated.
Oh, and Wraith says that they found a raid target ready. Nice, thank you for that, Wraith.
Awesome.
But yes, I have to ask Wraith though to get like a commands for like a claps in chat and then have like clapping hands or something like that.
Wait, why am I getting Zeused? I did nothing.
Oh no.
This is
He's been murdered.
Yeah, everyone knows that I can sound like a cat.
Oh, that's his. No. I don't have ears, but I need to do this.
I find it's like weird, like it's sounding like a cat.
Wait,
because like there's like it's a sound of a cat doing like a non-cat sound.
There's a tiny next.
They shrunk me. Chat shrunk me,
Hello, shrink you. Hello.
Next Junior.
He's cat size.
Oh no.
Oh.
How long did it take him to recover? Asks Ask. What do you mean? Recover from what? Ah!
Hello.
Where were you recovering from? Oh, and now Frox is small.
I am what?
You've been shrunk.
Tiny.
You've been shrunk.
Now you'll fit under even more stairs.
Oh no.
Wait. Let me put the cat.
Yeah.
Is it a drink noise?
Also, I'm not
when
sure what
you
you're meaning to
drink?
ask from how long did it take Hood to recover? Confused by that question. We will take one more question, you guys. So 1 or 2 more questions in chat, and then we will be closing off the Q&A. Any more questions? No.
And if you can, guys, please check out the public BEPUv build. Everyone trying it out will let us find more bugs and make it more proper for proper release.
Indeed.
Also,
And if you're
Angel.
interested about what comes after, of course, head over to the GitHub.
Yeah, no you.
And start upvoting issues that you find interesting, things you'd like to be worked on next. That's where the best impact. There in the Patreon vote, of course.
I somewhat kind of expect everyone to like Patreon vote the rigid body issue, though.
I would not bet against that, but yes. Still, go on to the beta branch. Try out the proto-rigid bodies. Play around, break things. It's a good tradition.
What do you mean, race?
Okay, well, hopefully this gave you guys some more information here about BEPUv2 and what is to be expected, hopefully, into the next coming build. And again, please, if you want to test, like what Turk said, you can always join here for the Danger Nightly build, and it's a special code that you can type into if you right-click on Neos, go to Properties, and then go to Betas. And we would like to hear some feedback that you guys have about it, and if finding any bugs or any sort of stuff before we start pushing it out to live. And then obviously once it does get pushed to live, there is still going to be a lot more iterations that go over it, including hopefully more stuff that can happen through for the future, but still we have to see for it to be fully implemented first before we can say what new things that we're going to be working on next. And Frux is doing a thing.
And one thing to note as well, if you're a Patreon, also know that you can vote for certain issues with your Patreon vote in some way. There are more details for that on the wiki, but if there's like a certain GitHub issue you want to vote, look at the wiki to learn out how, and you can vote for certain issues that you would like to see be given more priority. I somewhat expect people to vote for rigid body, as I was just talking with Git.
So many
as you can see, there's so much fun.
I like when they get duplicated, because when you duplicate them out, they just like collide with themselves and they just like explode all over each other. Yeah, this is what it looks like. They're just falling down off the ledge.
Oh, he just goes.
Oh, I think he's trying to hit them. Oh yeah, there they go. They got yeeted.
That's like little cubes.
Hilarious.
Actually, I wondered, does this affect them?
Help!
Does this?
We're being invaded by it's the attack of the cubes.
Oh no, the
Chat, hide! They're coming! They're coming for us all! There are so many cubes here. Oh god.
I got pushed off.
Yeah, not surprised. The cubes attack. They do not protect. And we got a last question here from Blue Boys Blitz. Oh, I forgot to ask, will there be things like external forces that can be placed for physics?
It's gonna come like with the rigid body like update. It's like we'll actually get like a full control like over stuff like this. Like you can apply forces, impulses, like rotations and so on.
Yeah, I promise you guys, when we do actually start having rigid body physics implemented inside of here, we will be having a whole stream dedicated to that as well, and questions about rigid body physics. But this is for BEPUv2 and just getting the implementation of the engine. And yeah, the fan does blow them. Why don't we show that off? Be a fan. Oh, yeah, it's blowing.
Wait, where is it? Oh no! Wait,
really? Really?
Wait, can I have
What?
Whoever's grabbing
That was
it.
just Brooks.
I did nothing.
Okay. Well, yeah, let Frox mess around with it. Go blow the blocks. Yeah, there we go. That's so cool.
Oh no!
Oh no! Goodbye, Josh! Oh no! Poor Josh! I'm dead.
Oh no.
Wee! That's so lame.
Fun.
And when the party's done, you needed to get all the guests to get out of your house. Buy one of these fans.
Whee!
Oh no.
This can also suck.
We're gonna need that for you, Canadian.
Yeah.
Well, now you got your clip-worthy clip there, Josh. Oh, there he goes.
Oh no.
I machine. Oh god, he's gonna hit it. Hit it. No.
Ah.
Oh no.
It just gets worse.
Oh no. That's mean.
New possibilities.
Down there.
Woo!
Now I just can't wait for people to make like AI with some of them. That'd be interesting.
Okay, so we're going to be ending off the stream now, you guys. Have an awesome day. Enjoy the rest of your Friday or Saturday, depending on where you live in the world. And I believe Wraith is going to give somebody a raid, so please stick around for that. And we're going to be ending off the stream now. So, see you guys later. And if you didn't check out the whole stream, you can always catch it on YouTube. Because we get these posted out. And yeah, we'll see you guys later.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Have a lovely day. And enjoy your weekend.
Enjoy your day, guys.